Everyone, welcome to a special BTB End of the Year Roundtable. With me is Stuart Aschenbrenner, Chris Seafoam Miller, Kashif, and I'm Steve. And today we are going to talk about our top three surprises from 2023. With that, I will start with Miller. Why don't you hit us with your top three?
All right, my top three for surprises for 2023 were Ruth Ware with 0 Days. It's about a couple that does penetration testing and things go haywire. Isabella Maldonado's A Killer's Game, violent and kind of had some Squid Game action in there. And then my favorite by far was T.R. Hendricks with The Instructor. Just the overwhelming action and violence that he provided was phenomenal. So that's my number one for top surprises in 2023.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Hell of a debut too, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Chris. Stu, what about you?
Cool. I had three great ones. So let's get it started. I got them all too. Ozark Dogs by Eli Craner. It's kind of a Southern noir type style book. And it's awesome. A lot of great action in this after his debut hit last year. Daniel Scanlan's follow-up to his debut, The Hacker. This is called The Exploit. It fits me because it's nerdy and has nerdy stuff in it as well as a lot of action. However, my number one, I believe, it was really hard to pick between these three, but it has to be Deadlock by James Byrne. Love The Gatekeeper. Des Limerick is a hilarious character, and so that is my number one choice.
Doesn't have to do with it taking place in the city where you live, does it?
No.
That's convincing. But did that add something to it for you, Stu?
Of course, yeah. As you know, Steve, up here in the Pacific Northwest, there aren't a ton of books, especially thriller books, set up in this area. So we got a little Nick Petrie a number of years ago that kind of floated around up here. And so having some stuff set here in town was really cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And Dez is a fantastic character. So good choice. Good choice. All right, K Money, what do you got for us?
All right. Well, top three surprises. So I'm going to start off with The Artificial Wisdom by Thomas Weaver. It's a pretty cool book about AI and not in a way you would expect. So it's kind of like a very eerie prophetic way, which I really appreciated rather than going the, ordinary way. Then I had 77 North by D.L. Marshall. The best way to think about that book is if you cross Clive Cussler with Agatha Christie. So it's kind of like a locked room mystery kind of thing, and then you have some really cool over the top explosions and action. So I'm always down for that. And for my top, I would say The Killing Room by Robert Swartwood. One of the major reasons, yes, it has a lot of action, a lot of violence, but the best thing about it is that it just takes you for a surprise. The synopsis doesn't give you an exact idea of what to expect, and few pages into the book, everything turns on its head. So
Mhm.
that one really took me by surprise, and I loved it.
Great. Ashraf, is it can you still claim that books with AI are surprises for you at this point?
Surprisingly, yes. Surprisingly, I thought my masters would help me, but I don't know. It seems like I'm still surprised.
All right, we'll give you that then. All right. So I guess that leaves my three. So I've got them right here. The Quiet Tenant. Stu, can you give me your best French accent for the name of the author?
Oh man. Uh oh
And
man, you put me on the spot.
All right, fine. Never mind.
Et Clément Michelon.
All right, there you go. Really surprising because this is the author's first book written in English. Everything else is written in French, and it's a tremendous story. It's really intense that can't put down.
I bet
Really
that took him a while.
her, but yes.
Or I bet that
Thank
took her a while.
Yeah, but I mean, I can barely speak English, let alone write a book in another language. That's a hell of a feat, right? Second one, Guilty One, Bill Schweiger. Everything Bill writes, I find fascinating. This one is really good, a little bit of a departure from his prior work, which is why it was surprising, but not surprising that it was fantastic. But my number one, I absolutely love this book, Calico, Lee Goldberg. It defies genre. It's a thriller, it's a police procedural, it's a little bit of sci-fi. Really hooks you with these characters, and to a point like I cared about them so deeply and what was happening to them, and it was just in a way that I had not really felt in a long time. So Lee writes great books. We've all read some of his other books. This one caught me off guard with just how invested I got into it. So big shout out to Lee for what I think he told me was a passion project. He absolutely friggin' nailed it. So Calico by Lee Goldberg is my number one surprise. So this is the point where I'd probably ask Derek and Todd to name theirs, but they're off riding a cow somewhere together, so we won't be able to pull them into this. So we'll just skip past that, and let's see if we can pick the one or two BTB biggest surprises of the year. Anyone care to make a nomination from the books that we've heard today?
I can make one. One that I think also surprised me that was high up on my list was what Chris Seafoam said. T.R. Hendricks. That was a fantastic book, and um, I can completely understand why that was your number one pick.
Yeah. You want to expand on that, Stu? Why do you think it's worthy of the BTB prize for the year?
I mean, it was a surprise in all the way you want a kind of a new book, right? New author on the scene. It was that like classic thriller action from jump to the end. Um, I just thought it was a really well done novel, and yeah, just to echo what Miller said, I thought it was really well done. I liked it a
Yeah,
lot.
I think the plot line was fresh. Like you get a lot of people that are always in the city and they're always around a ton of people, and this dude's off on his own and things go sideways. And the one thing I thought, like he was saying, it jumps off hot and heavy and nonstop, but the attention to detail that Hendricks focuses on makes that stand out to me. With that, I would say that I'm highly interested in Calico. I did not read that one, but I'm currently reading Dreamtown by Lee Goldberg as well, and I love Eve Ronan. So that's without a doubt his writing has always been fun, fast-paced, energetic. So that is going to be on my to-be read list soon.
That's great. I'll echo what you guys said. Tara Hendricks' book is fantastic. I think that's a worthy nomination. I'll second Stu's number one pick of Deadlock. I fell in love with Des, pretty early on in that book, and yeah, having it take place, where we live certainly makes it a little bit easier to really get into the book. But it's just a different type of protagonist than we're used to. So that one, would be high on my list as well.
It's a pretty good list actually, but surprisingly I'm actually gonna be going with Deadlock as well, because I don't have that connection as you guys have with the location, but it's just very. I love the wisecracking nature of the protagonist. It's just like you're getting all the action, but at the same time, yep, so there we go. You're getting all that, a lot of education in terms of where the world is heading. So it feels like a lot of things packed in one book, and to me, that's always a top-notch thriller.
Nice, Kasha. So let's call it a tie between The Instructor by T.R. Hendricks and Deadlock by James Byrne, both books that this group found fascinating and loved. So thanks to those guys for writing amazing books that just surprised the hell out of us, that were fantastic, that we can't recommend highly enough. So yeah, I think that does it for this round table. Thank you guys as always for chatting. For Stu, Chris, Kashif, I'm Steve. We'll catch you next time.